guys. We're just letting everybody hop on in here, and we're so glad you're with us tonight. This is a special night. This is our athlete night. How many of you are an athlete on here? Maybe you're a wannabe an athlete. Maybe you are raising athletes. This is going to be the athlete. Oh, they can hardly hear me. How do we turn up this volume? Do you know? Let's see here. Hang on a second. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Give me some. Okay,
I
way better.
can hear you, Renita.
Awesome.
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Because half the time I feel like I'm hollering because I'm always in presentation mode. So I'm going to ask you guys, Beau and I are together. Oh, lean in.
Hey there, how's it going?
So we've got the athlete here tonight. We've got a special lineup of athletes. Scott's actually running the Zoom from back home, so hopefully he's able to hop on here. There he is. And we've got the special guest. So tonight we've got Alan Webb. We've got, of course, Beau Brannan. He's going to kick it off for us. We've got a beautiful Mary Morgan. She's from out there on 30A. Maybe you guys have seen her before, but she is a world-class athlete scaling Mount Everest. Just completed the Great World Race, which is 7 marathons on 7 continents in 7 days, right? So if you've not checked her out yet, she's amazing. And then, of course, we've got that beautiful Michelle. Let's see, is Michelle on here? I'm trying to find everybody's names up above, because Michelle is an incredible athlete out of California. She is been amazing at fitness competitions, bikini competitions, bodybuilding competitions, and she is a amazing cyclist, you guys. So of course, if we have Michelle and Ellen and Marion, if you guys could go ahead and just raise your hand, because I'm going to be able to pull you guys right up. Bear with us. Scott and I are neither of us are tech geniuses, but we're going to try to do our very best tonight so that you get an amazing LifeWave overview. If you're brand new on here tonight, make sure you talk to the person who invited you on. That person is your sponsor. That person will be the person that helps to lead and guide you on this great LifeWave adventure and the power of these patches. Listen, the next 30 minutes are going to fly by, and you are going to be so inspired and so encouraged. I'm just going to be honest. The next 30 minutes are going to change your life physically and possibly financially as well. So we're going to discuss both the health opportunity that exists with these phototherapy patches and, of course, the wealth opportunity that exists with these patches. So I'm going to kick it off just handing it over to my son, Beau Brannan. Beau was our very first person we enrolled with LifeWave, and he got started because he's an incredible track athlete, has ran track since very young, has literally broke national records, and he actually broke Hershey, Pennsylvania record. Remember the Hershey track meet, Beau?
Yeah.
He actually broke a record out there, which was incredible, and got to meet some of his icons. But he's going to get to meet one of his icons tonight and actually introduce Alan Webb to you guys. But I'm going to let Beau take it away and just have him talk a little bit about how he started wearing the patch, what the patches did for his athleticism, and then I'm going to let him introduce Alan Webb, because I know that Beau, for years, was watching Alan Webb videos, and here tonight we get him in the live real person.
So trade spots.
Yep, we'll trade spots.
How's it going, everyone?
And Scott, if you could just make Beau's face big so that you can minimize that presentation for now.
All right, I'm so fired up to be on this call, just talking about LifeWave and what it's done for myself in my athleticism, and then also the business side of it as well. So I got started with LifeWave a little over 2 years ago, and it's just absolutely been life-changing for myself. I was going into my senior year of Division I track and field, and was really at a standstill with my performance. You know, I was looking for something that could really take my training and my competitive edge to the next level, cutting edge technology, something that was holistic and natural. And so when I learned about LifeWave and the ability to harness the own light emitted from ourself and patch up, so the light and just heal our bodies from the inside out, it's been absolutely amazing. Going into my last year, like I said, standstill with athletics. You know, I was running the same times year over year. And also I had these terrible bloody feet because I was running 60 to 70 miles per week. And so my feet were bloody and I had terrible blisters just from running a lot. I was taking a lot of ibuprofen, probably around 600 milligrams in between training sessions. And so really just trying to mask the pain between workouts. And within 2 weeks of wearing the X39, I experienced so many health benefits. I was waking up feeling more refreshed in the morning. I didn't realize a little circular patch like this big could absolutely change my life, but it has, you know. So 2 weeks in of wearing the X39, I was waking up feeling more refreshed, no migraine headaches anymore because I had those probably for 2 years. I don't know if it was just from stress, anxiety, or just from the racing aspect of track, but the headaches went away. I was feeling more recovered in between training sessions, and then just had a breakout season. Obviously, I didn't hold an American record for 20 years, or I'm not an Olympian or anything, but I did run Division 1. So it was a breakout season and just one for the record books, 100%. And then on the business side, I didn't want to 9 to 5 route out of college. I didn't want to have someone tell me how much money I could make on a yearly basis. I wanted to be able to have flexibility with my life and be able to travel on my own terms and just experience the amazingness that life has to offer. You know, there's more to life than your hometown. So I'm here to tell you right now that in LifeWave, we have so many amazing experiences. If you love to travel, we've been to over 10 countries in the last 2 years. So it's been an absolute blessing with that. But I didn't want to just be stuck, you know, like I was with running those past few years. I wanted to be able to have uncapped commissions. And so it's been an absolute 180 turn for myself financially. You know, when I started, I probably had $2,000 in my checking account, and I was living off $1,000 a month as an athlete. You know, that's what I was doing. I was a broke athlete. And 2 years in, we have over 38 members on our team that are senior presidential directors that are making over 1 million a year, you know? So it's just so amazing being able to make a lot of money, but also be able to help a lot of people do it, you know? So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that, what do you say? Oh, okay. Amazing. I don't know if Alan's on the call. I hope he is. So obviously I've looked up to Alan Webb since I was a little kid. You know, I started running track when I was 10 years old. Like my mom said, I was like breaking records when I was like 14. They would send us out to like Hershey, Pennsylvania, and all expense paid. Like what kid would not want to go on an all expense paid trip to Six Flags and Hershey Park and the chocolate factory and just go run just with the blessing that God's given us to do. So that was amazing. But yeah, obviously Alan Webb, he's a world-class athlete. He held the American record in the mile 346, and he ran at a very small meet. I'm not sure, he could probably say why he chose that meet to run it at, but he held the record, and then he went to the Olympics and ran the 1500 there. He absolutely demolished the trials in 2004. I think he won by over like 2 or 3 seconds at the Olympic trials. So it just goes to show the amazing runner that he is. More than that, he's a dad, he's a father, and he's an amazing coach here. Or where's he at in Florida? Yeah, at the, I think it's called Ave Maria or some call.
Yeah,
so
Ave Maria.
yeah, Ave Maria.
Exactly.
So Alan, if you're on, okay, sweet. Let's go, Alan.
Everybody get up for Alan Webb. Beau had me prepping all day, Alan, watching the videos of you just blowing the competition out of the water, winning by a long shot. So I loved watching all of those videos. You probably heard me cheering from you from Scottsdale over here all the way over in Florida, because I was like, we are so proud to know you and have you wearing the patches, and you're just an amazing human being. So thanks for being on tonight.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Beau and Renita, for the wonderful introduction. I guess I wish I could have had this, you know, 20 years ago when I was actually competing.
Right? Can you imagine?
Yeah. Julie and I were actually kind of joking about that. About just if we could have had that back in the day, but yeah, I mean, I'm not competing anymore, so I can't even, you know, run 100 meters at that pace. I certainly was very blessed, a very successful career. But you know, I always wanted a little bit more. You know, I mean, I set the American record, which was not world record. It was kind of fun. I went to the Olympics, but I didn't make it out of the prelim. So We didn't get any medals. They don't hand out the medals to everybody that goes to the Olympics, which which is sort of like this like weird myth. I think they think you get a medal just if you get there. But
I think
mean, just to make it to the Olympics.
I'm just saying, you made it Olympics, and you're playing a little humble right now. Trust me, I watched enough videos today to know. If you guys just hopped on, by the way, would you all please mute yourself if you just got on the video with Alan, because we just want to make sure that he's front and center. So, here's the thing. You didn't have the patch back then, but you got it now. And you've got it in your hands now. You're using it with yourself, your family. And I think what a powerful tool for the young people that are runners right now, right? What a powerful tool. Like Beau said, I mean, this is just 2.5 years ago where the training room was full of ibuprofen, Ellen. I mean, right? And so this is what we have right now. Something so powerful, so unique, such a difference maker. So tell us first how the patch has affected you, and what you're doing with it right now, wearing it yourself. And I know some family members are wearing it.
Yeah. So, I mean, my wife got me to do it, and just, just like a lot of people, a little skeptical, like what's going on with this thing? Like really, is this going to help me at all? But, she did a good job of just saying, hey, there's no drugs in it or anything. There's no drugs, which is like for the elite athlete, like, I with great joy can tell you that, I never took any, I didn't do any performance enhancing drugs, which was like a hot topic in the world of sports. Like you want to do the best you can, but the people that are on the up and up and have morals, don't want to do it by taking drugs.
Right.
So you're like, is this gonna help me? Sort of, at this point, just live better, and feel better.
Right.
I'm like, all right, I'll give it a go. And it was like, pretty quick. I was like, whoa, I really noticed a difference. Like just, I'd say the first thing was just clarity, like my cognitive clarity was better throughout the day. And just little stuff that you might not think about it too hard, but like, if you spend all day, like, let's say you're writing emails or just talking to people, and sometimes you get to the end of the day and you're like, man, I just checked a bunch of emails and talked to people. Why am I so tired? Like, why did that take so much out of me? But those tasks didn't seem quite as daunting, and it didn't drain me as much. And then I slept better. And my skin has just my diet probably could use a little work. But I just noticed little things about my skin kind of like just being a little bit better. My vision, I felt like was just a little bit clearer. I don't know if my prescription changed or anything like that, because I do wear contacts, but it certainly was. I could just sort of feel that it was like clearer, like more clear. But then I also noticed with my family, my daughter has been struggling with encopresis, which without getting too graphic, it's basically where you like little kids, like a little kid would like be constipated. And it's been a really tough thing for Julie and I to really, help our she's this sweet little girl. Gabby's so sweet. She's 6 years old. She just turned 6. So she should be out of the potty training thing. But she kind of took this step back about a year ago, and we were like scratching our head trying to do everything. We're giving her like X-Lax pills and all this crazy stuff, prune juice, everything. We tried and everything, and we we're like, oh, maybe put the patch, try this patch thing. And I put the patch on her, and no kidding, it was like an hour later, she goes into the bathroom, and it's like, it wasn't like a massive victory at that point, but it was like enough where I'm like, all right, that was pretty good, like
right.
And, like we're like, hey, we're looking for like little gains at this point. You know, it's
Yeah.
like here we're like what anything is better than nothing.
Yeah,
You know,
pooping matters. Let's just say it for everybody who's having a hard time. Pooping matters, okay?
yeah, it does.
No,
And,
it
you know,
does.
we man, we did everything. We had books. You know, we're like hey, everybody poops. You know, like we're doing the whole thing. You know, we're trying to. You know, and she goes, and I'm like, Gabby, like, how you feeling? And she's like, Daddy, I don't feel like I have to hold it in anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Praise God.
And I'll say it's been like, I don't know, what, like 2 weeks or something, maybe a little over 2 weeks, and it wasn't totally instantaneous. You know, it wasn't like totally instantaneous, but you could start to see the trend over the last couple weeks.
Wow.
And I'll tell you right now, I mean, like tonight, like good day, you know, like
Yeah.
I'll just say it was a really good, the most gone since April, and so it was
Wow.
slow
Amazing.
progression. You know, like sort of like better days,
Amazing.
be like maybe not so great days, but like you could feel the progression there.
Right. Awesome.
So yeah, I mean it and you can see that you know if you read up on how it works, you know,
Yep.
it activates, you know, the copper peptides, right?
Right.
And which stimulate your stem cells. So it does, like, everybody's a little bit different, you know. Like I had this wart on my foot, and now it's almost gone. It's like,
Oh yeah. Ellen, I'm telling you, our Rocco had a wart for 2 years. I rubbed every kind of oil, from emu oil. I mean, you name it, every kind of oil. I was ordering oils from all over the world. Couldn't get rid of that wart. 2 months in, Rocco comes to me. He says, "Hey, Mom, that wart on my bottom of my foot that I have for a couple of years is gone."
yeah.
You've
So
got to be kidding me. What?
I mean, like, everybody's gonna have a different story, because it's like, you know, and that's why you can't, you know, like, you know, obviously the disclaimer is like you can't claim that it cures any disease, you know, which is, you know, like, everybody's got a little bit different thing, and like your body, it's like it's up to you, and like whatever damage you have done to yourself to like mess yourself up the last how many every years, like, you know, like you know, like, what did I do to mess myself up? Well, you know, I tore my ACL. And I noticed that right away. You know, it didn't like regrow my ACL. No, it didn't do that. But like, you know, just if I could tell the inflammation went down, you know, so like,
Yeah.
if I found that mass kneeling on the kneeler, and I feel my right knee is like usually got like this like bulge in it, and I gotta like move around to like make it comfortable. I'm like, oh man, it's not quite as bad, you know, like maybe my back doesn't like get all messed up as much as it does. I feel like my posture is better. I don't know how did it, but it somehow helped that. So just like little things like that, where like, you know, if you're an athlete and you're trying to, you know, you go to the Olympic trials or the Olympic Games, and if you are one tiny little bit off, man, those guys will crush you. You know, like, you got 110%. You know, and if you're like one little bit off, I mean, Beau, you know, you everybody might not fully appreciate it, but you know, you dropped. You said you went from like 153 and you finally got down to like 151, right?
Correct. Yeah. And I feel like I might have went to the Olympics if I kept running like every year, you know,
That's
like
what
with the pad.
You just got better.
I just want to get better every year, you know. So
that's massive. 2
Yeah.
seconds. Like, I mean, like,
2 seconds is a lot in the 800. Yeah.
a huge amount. It's a massive. That is massive. I mean, Beau, if I had ran 2 seconds faster, I would have run 141.
Exactly. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
To put into perspective, Alan Webb would come through in the miles. He would come through 800 and basically my PR of the 800. So he would come through the halfway point at my PR. So that just explains the level of Alan Webb here. But
you know, when you're talking about like if you had the patch back then, I'm thinking Beau had the patches last semester of running, and we saw the progression and how much it amplified his ability, like from reducing the inflammation with the feet. Like he said, he couldn't get his feet to stop bleeding. Seriously, it was wild. And then those headaches were gone. And
also just like tracking my heart rate too, because you're wearing a watch. So when you train in between intervals, you're seeing like your resting heart rate and your active heart rate, and both over time, over the course of, you know, 6 months to a year of training, my average resting and active heart rate was dropping significantly.
And let's just say it was good to begin with,
Yeah.
right, Ellen? We know this with these athletes, it's good to begin with. So it's even improving on that. And so much so that they came in and drug tested him 3 times at college. the NCAA because they thought he was doping.
Yep.
So they came in, and I always said, Bo, did you tell the guys that were taking your pee that you're not doping, that you're actually patching? I said, you got to tell these guys this, right? He's like, I told him, Mom. But anyway, because it's legal, right, guys? Because nothing enters the body except for light. So that's
Yeah.
the power of the patch. I mean, it's like you said, Alan, what's it going to do for you? Well, I don't know. What have you inflicted on your body? Like you said, right? Where's your pain point? Where's your agony? What have you done to yourself? Right?
Yeah. And your body will decide that. Like you're like whatever you have, like whatever somebody has going on, it will pick that. And actually, our sponsor, Jackie Schroeder, she explained to me that like it'll go to where it needs to go first, and then it will move on to something else. You know, like so.
Yeah, it's systemic. It's systemic, so it goes to the weakest link of your body.
There you go. So, and I'm learning about it too, you know, and I think Renita, I think on one of these calls you mentioned how, you know, your age will kind of dictate a little bit how long it takes, you know, like every,
decade you're alive. Yeah. You know,
is
we're at least a month, you know,
is
you're
one
50, we're at 5 months before you make a buying decision permanently, right? Like for me, I'm never going to stop exercising. So I know I'm always going to have that inflammation going on, right? Because we want that inflammation. So we build lean muscle and keep our bone density as we age. But if I can do something to regenerate the brain cells faster, the muscle tissue faster, I'm in, right? Like,
Alan, what do you think about the business? I'm just curious about a little bit about your perspective of the affiliate side of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously super new, like, you know, and I'm still trying my best to kind of reach out to people and invite people and kind of, well, I'm still just learning the system, like well, what should you do, you know, like you know, Renita, you did a call where you talked about like just the system of, you know, like having 5 people per day, you know, and going through that process and kind of what to say and like. And how many follow-ups you should expect, you know, to do, just little stuff like that. So I'm just still, you know, my toe is still dipped in it. You know, I also have I still coach full time, so I'm like a little behind with that. But Julie and I are kind of doing this together, so we're just slowly chipping away at learning the business side and
but you've been affiliate marketing before, because you were an affiliate for Nike for how many years?
well, I I don't know if
He was an affiliate. He was sponsored.
You were the guy on the cover of the magazine. Like you were the man. Like you were the Mac Daddy affiliate. If there was one called that at that time, you were that guy, right?
Yeah, they were the opposite of network marketing. It was like they wanted to like control everything and take all the profit, you know, like
right. But they paid you to wear their brand and you know,
To
travel.
Right. I had a contract. So it was you know, it was like a name, image, and likeness contract where you know, I had to pinch myself, but they paid me to wear a bunch of Nike stuff and run around in circles as fast as I could, right? So
there you go.
Yeah.
And you know, I think the difference with this is you are a world-class athlete. Like you're a champion beyond measure. I'm going to tell you, I can't run a mile faster than probably 10 minutes. So I would never have a chance of getting sponsored by Nike. But the good news is I can do network marketing, and it doesn't matter how fast I am, and it doesn't matter my accolades. That's what I love about this business, Alan. You can be an Alan Webb, you can be a Beau Brannan, or you can be Renita Brannan, or a Michelle, or an Alyssa and Kyle Likely, or a Mary, or a Judy Mallard. I'm seeing all these names up here. You can really be anybody. And if you just have, first of all, the heart to want to be well, right? I think we should all want it to be aiming up with our health. How many of you guys would agree? Raise your hand. We should all be aiming up with our health, right? Like we're never too old. We're never too far gone, and it's never too late. We know with the power of the patch, it's resetting 4,000 to 6,000 of our genes as soon as we put that bad boy on anywhere, right? And so the power of the patch is incredible, but the power of the opportunity is really remarkable as well. I mean, you've got people that are, you know, kind of everyday people, and then world-class people like yourself, and they all have kind of the same playing field, Alan, which is different than when you were running for Nike. Like I said, I wasn't getting sponsored, you were. You know what I'm saying? So here it's like you can make a little bit of money, you can make some hobby money by helping a couple people, right? A couple $100 a week. You can make pretty significant money, a couple thousand a week, and then you can make generational wealth, changing money for those that are really interested in changing their financial future. So I love that. I love that it's like anybody can win, literally anybody who has a desire to be well and who wants to help people. I mean, that's really what it comes down to in this business. This is the business of people who like to help people.
Are you offering the patches to your athletes yet?
A couple people. I think that I coach college athletes, so they're like kind of, you know, poor.
Poor. Yeah. Beau knows.
Trust me, I know how it is. I know how it is.
I don't know if that's like a good marketing strategy. We realized pretty early, at least, you know, the last couple of weeks. So I don't know if that's like the right way to go in terms of from a business side. In terms of, you know, it's yeah, I'm still experimenting with just trying to get maybe athletes that aren't on my team, like that I don't coach, aren't college athletes.
Right.
So, but you know, I don't know, still developing that strategy, I guess, you know.
Right.
So yeah, and again, I'm still new, so I'll take any questions from the peanut gallery for sure.
I love it. I love you participating tonight.
Yeah,
you're just a blessing. We look forward to hearing more from you as you continue to patch your family and your sweet daughter. And we know the very best is yet to come. We feel really honored to have you on our team. And it's just amazing when we told Bull that you were on the team, he said, the Alan Webb.
Yeah, just what an honor. Yeah.
Like Beau said to me today, he's like, I'm so honored that Alan is on this Zoom with me. Like so it's like you were like his favorite all through you know, high school and college track, and now here you are, right? So there you go. Dreams do come true, right? There they are. There they are. Yeah. So we're gonna hop on over. Thanks, Alan. Everybody give it for Alan Webb. Thanks, Alan. We're gonna give it on up for Miss Mary Morgan. Let me see if I can pin Mary. Mary, I'm gonna replace the pin with you. See if I can get you. So this little fireball, she is like 115 pounds of pure animal theory and just excitement and go-getting. She's Mary. I want you to give them a little background about yourself because you've actually even climbed Mount Everest.
Wow.
Yes. So my name is Mary Morgan. I live on 38 in Florida. I have a 4-year-old who is my biggest adventure yet. She takes more energy than any of my endurance things I've ever done. I am not Alan Webb. I am a normal human theater in high school who decided at like 30 I wanted to do a half Ironman and then an Ironman and then start climbing mountains. So then I did like Everest, Aconcagua, but my most recent I guess achievement, well, I did the 777. So I was in way over my head. Alan, I think you know Jenny Simpson. So I sat down next to her and she's like,
Yes.
I won a gold in this, and I was this, and I was like, oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into? Anyway, so when I was training for that, my sister had kind of heard about these patches. She brought them to me. I did not think anything of it. I was like, okay, a patch, you know, whatever. Just kept kind of on running along. But in my training, I started having I hurt my Achilles, kind of had some issues with my calf, probably from overtraining because in April, I literally was not even running, couldn't run a mile. So I was like, oh, I want to do this and let's just go for it. So before I left for the race, my sister made me kind of a little packet for each day of the all the different patches. I had all of them. So the first couple races I had them on, I felt great. And then I got hurt. Then it started getting chaotic. Then we didn't have our luggage and you had to be dressed and ready to go. And as we, went on throughout the rest of the 7 marathons, I started to get a little bit worse and worse and worse. And by the 6th one, I was in a hospital in Cartagena after I finished, feeling pretty icky, kind of going into mild rhabdo, which I'm sure everyone was, which basically just means I was like overworking. So I finished number 7 in Miami, and I could like literally barely walk. I was so swollen. I had gained like 12 pounds when I got home.
Wow.
A huge puff. And when I got home to Florida, like 2 days later, I also had norovirus on top of it. So I was super, even more dehydrated, all the things, and went straight to an ortho doc here. I basically was like, my dad like wheeled me in a wheelchair, and he gave me a boot. He gave me crutches, Achilles tendonitis, and then also you just ran 7 marathons in 7 days. So, obviously.
You got a little inflammation going on. Just
Yes.
a slight amount of inflammation, right?
So my sister came over and she's like, "Where are your patches?" I'm like, "Patches? I don't even know what your patches. I can't even like take a shower. I can't, I've not been thinking about patches." So she puts on the LifeWave, the X39, the glutathione, like loads me up. Next morning, I wake up, no boot, no crutches. I'm walking like basically normal.
Wow.
Like had gone down substantially. Within 4 days, I was on the beach doing yoga. Everything was like totally done. And
Wow.
a week later, I ran in our like family turkey trot, fun run. And I mean, it was just like, I had not really thought about them, in my training. Like, I do think they were helping maybe, but I wasn't like really paying and like that much attention. But
Right.
how quickly I was able to recover and heal when like the doctor was like, I mean, this is probably going to take 6 weeks to like months for you to like walk, whatever. So I don't know. It was pretty amazing because I mean, all athletes would know an Achilles injury, like, can take a really long time to heal.
Yeah.
And so
Oh,
it
yeah.
was amazing. And now, I'm using them every day, like religiously. My husband's using them. And like kind of to Alan, what you were saying, like just more clear, the stuff I do every day, the same old things I do, chase a 4-year-old, do daily life. But it's like, at the end of the day, I don't feel like, oh my God, I'm so dead. Like I can actually stay up and watch a show with my husband, which usually I'd be getting in bed at 8:30 or 9 with my daughter, like I'm out.
Right.
Like I can stay up and, maybe even have a glass of wine, like,
Yeah.
it's good. It's like, I can actually, it's what I love about it. It's not like you drink a cup of coffee and you're like, all day. It's been a gradual progression of like day by day, you just feel better and better and better. So,
Wow.
I would tell people if, you're haven't used these or first time using these, to definitely like stick with it. Don't expect to have like you just drink a Red Bull. It's not that kind of
No.
which I'm thankful for because I hate caffeine and I don't do caffeine. I don't do Red Bull, anything like that. But when I do, I'm like, that's why I don't take caffeine or Red Bull, even though you might think so because I am like but
Yeah.
yeah.
This
So
is God. That's God given, baby. That's God given.
that's like God given.
That's like me. I tell people I drink decaf coffee. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, don't feel some sudden energy burst, but it's just as you, get through the day, you're like, wow, I'm not falling over dead tired right now. I can actually like,
Yeah, I liked it when Ellen, you're talking about the vision and kind of just like clicking in the head. The clarity of the brain for me is a big deal, right? Because in the world of brain fog, where there's so much busyness, there's so much chaos in the world and in most of our lives, that to have that kind of clarity, like you're talking about, where you just, that brain coherence. And we actually have those images that show that you have better brain coherence within 3 weeks of wearing X39. It's measurable. They can actually measure it with science to show you how that inflammation goes down in our brain. And we don't have any more of that redness. So again, that might be bright brain fog. In Beau's case, it was those low grade migraines and anxiety, probably type tendencies. And so for everybody that maybe presents itself as something slightly different. But I love that a common thing that we hear is just like, I'm just thinking better. Like I'm just clearer in the head. And I just think, gosh, can you imagine if our whole world would be clearer in the head? It would be great, right? Our world would be great. So
What patches do you wear the most for like when you're training?
So I was wearing the energy enhancer, and I would wear the glutathione after at
Okay.
night, and then always X39, and then LifeWave if I was having pain in my knee, calf, Achilles, wherever.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, you kind of just have them as your health arsenal now. They're just there. Like for me, it's not like I don't need to wear every single patch every single day, but if I need it, it's right there, and I know which one I need to reduce the inflammation or to like detox or whatever it may be. And so I feel like it should be in everyone's health arsenal. I said we got to get rid of medicine cabinets and go to health arsenals and just equip our homes and our families so that they have phototherapy. It needs to become a part. Like imagine when aspirin just came out, right? And now aspirin is generally in everybody's homes, right? That's how I believe phototherapy is going to be. Like we're on the cutting edge of something so powerful that is so life changing for really all ages. I mean, Ellen, you're talking about your little girl. Every day. Last night we're hearing stories about life of events. They're all ages. So that's what I love about the power of the patch. It's really for better, fatter, faster, fitter, stronger is what I think, right? Not fatter.
Not bad.
Faster.
But if you
Faster.
wear the energy enhancer, you will burn 30% more body fat while wearing it. So you will get leaner.
Yeah, leaner. So if you're wanting to lean down, that might be a better option than those injections that everybody's getting. Just saying, okay? Because this way you're not going to paralyze your colon. You're just going to burn some fat. So I love it. Mary, you're a blessing. Are you sharing with anybody yet? Or are you just kind of getting your feet in the water, learning the business?
Yeah, so I mean, I've definitely been sharing with like my close inner circle. I'm gonna have some women over tomorrow and kind of give a little testimony of what it's done for me and my sister. But no, I want to share it for everyone. I mean, the business side of it sounds amazing, and who doesn't need to have a couple extra dollars, but just to help people for wealth, for health in general, and just to feel better. Like I don't want to keep that for myself. I want to share it with everyone. So,
Amen.
yeah, really excited.
Health and wealth, they're both important, right? We need them
Yes.
both. All right. Mary, God bless you. We
Thanks for
appreciate you
listening.
contributing. Thank you. Hey,
Very.
next we have Michelle. Michelle, are you ready? Let me replace the pin here. So I'm kind of pulling you. Oh, there you are. How are you doing, you fireball? So this is Michelle Beltran, you guys. Beltran, she's from down in California. Michelle, give me your background because Michelle's been involved in fitness and nutrition and lifestyle, and she's a coach. This woman's a coach, and but is now a major cyclist. Oh, there you. Oh, she was there. Now she's gone. You were there,
Okay,
Michelle.
wait, hang on. Here I am. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Oh my gosh, my computer just completely shut down, so I had to start Zoom, and then you couldn't hear me for a minute. Or I'm sorry, I had to start
No,
phone.
we see you. We hear you. Tell us. So tell everybody who you are first and just a little bit about your background. And you are rocking sharing the patch. I am witnessing it on social media. I'm like, wow, you're tearing it up and you're going to change a lot of lives.
Oh my gosh, I'm so in love with this. I am so in love with this. So, okay. So let's see. I'm a cyclist. I raced professionally for many years. And Mary, I started when I was 30. And believe it or not, back at that time, the average age of a pro woman cyclist was 35. And I thought I was at it old, but no, I was like kind of prime. It's so different from men. But anyway, I started in triathlon and got really fit for a year and decided I just wasn't feeling the three sport thing. So I wanted to just focus on the cycling. I was really strong at it. So I did, and I just did not look back. I just had such good fortune. I trained hard, had a coach, moved up to pro ranks pretty quickly in a couple years, got some early big wins, and raced the Giro Italia overseas, internationally. For the women, just to kind of educate everyone on cycling, we've all probably heard of the Tour de France. And the Giro Italia, the men race. Well, the women race it too. We have that too. But for us, and again, at that time, the Giro was huge. So it was kind of a thing, a really wonderful, wonderful honor to go race overseas like that on international soil, and had that opportunity. I had an early big win, was really bold to break off the front in one of my stage races and won and moved way up the ranks. That got me those things get you on the map. And so I got a couple invites to the Olympic Training Center to race for the national team and World Cups, and just such an amazing, awesome journey. I remember when my coach said to me I could race pro, I thought, no way, me? Really? Like it just sort of found me. But anyway, so it was a wonderful time. But my interesting story is my career was cut a little bit short with the chronic fatigue, which is something that athletes can get. And so it was cut a little short, as wonderful as it was. But fast forward, though, and this is what I really want to share with everyone, is that, here I am, 50 plus now, let's just say that. And I found my bike at COVID again and started riding. And, a couple years later, here I am actually racing in the pro ranks again. And with a different mindset. Yeah.
Come on.
I had a miracle year. I truly miracle year, never set out to do this, have a complete different mindset now going at it, right? I'm not trying to get on the podium, but it is just so awesome to be fit at this age. And so anyone listening, if you got that thing on your shelf that's collecting dust you've been wanting to do, please pull it off the shelf, dust it off, and do it, because age is just a number. And so now I've got a pro event coming up, racing with the girls. I've got to be on top of my game, racing with the gals. So here it comes, the patch, right? It's been super helpful. But anyway, so for the year ahead, the goal is worlds and worlds and nationals in probably 3 disciplines: road, gravel, and time trial. So anyway, that's a big year ahead. But so moving to, my experience of the patch, I'm really new, actually. And Jaime, who is here, invited me on, and just a little bit about, I guess it was about a year ago, a little more, he introduced me to this patch and kind of planted the seed. And I remember thinking at that time, yeah, I don't know about this one. I don't know about this, but I looked at it and I'm all on cutting edge stem cell, like, as athletes and just anyone here, like, we want to be healthy and well, right? So he sort of planted the seed, and fast forward to this last summer, at a peak phase in training and racing, I explored the red light therapy, and was offered at a health and wellness clinic. And I tried it. I didn't stay with it long. It was kind of far and it was a little pricey. But that was another seed that sort of got planted. And so it was in that stem cell phototherapy family. So here I am going a little further. And I remember that, I tried it enough to know I had this sense of well-being, and like it was helping in my recovery, but I didn't hang in with it. So then maybe just 2 months ago, I'm ill, and Jaime and I connect again, and I am like, guess I'm just ready. So he brings over patches, I get to try them. And I would say within about 4 or 5 days, I noticed sleep difference, right? Like, and it's not that I had a hard time sleeping ever. Like, I sleep okay, but it was that I always needed a lot of, like, I needed 7 or 8 hours, but now I could be on 5.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, this is interesting, right? And I'm kind of like, I need the proof person. Like, I love the videos and I love the training and all the reading, but I need to feel it, like, in my body. I know my body. Everyone here, we know our body. So let's see. Okay, so then I noticed sleep. Then I noticed energy, right? But again, as was shared, it's not like Red Bull caffeine energy. It's, I feel well, like a wellness energy. I mentioned mountains become molehills, kind of thing, and it's like building on itself. Yeah, it's like not this magic pill, but it's like So then day 12 was my big thing. As an athlete, my coach has me follow our HRV, which is heart rate variability. Yes. So, and I, lo and behold, so many people actually already are. I had no idea, but he wanted me to follow that. So we did. And okay, so interestingly enough, I'm coming off this great season, miraculous season, and I cannot get my HRV out of the red zone. It goes red, orange, green, and you like want to stay in that green window, right? I was down here, like thinking, okay, I'm not going through that chronic fatigue again. Like, I am not doing that. So, But it was feeling weird and I couldn't recover. And day 12, that HRV shot up into the green. And I'm like, okay. Oh, 2 months. I had many days of it being low. And so now it didn't like go and shot there and stay there, but it never went down again. And it just had continued to go up and up and up. So I'm like, okay, I am 2 feet in and all of this gets better. And, just a couple days ago, I did a big old giant 5-hour training ride. And like yesterday, I was like, kind of not on top of the world, like the recovery, but then boom, all I need is 1 day now. And I wake up this morning and I'm good. Whereas in the past, even way before this last winter, it would take 2 or 3 days. And, those of us out doing our thing, we all know recovery as you get older takes a little more time. Right. So anyway, so I'm noticing all these things and I'm pretty sure I bought the advanced package straight away. I just knew that I was in. The plant seed had been planted, and to be full transparency, I remember thinking, Jaime, you're drinking the Kool-Aid. Maybe you're drinking the Kool-Aid. Like, how could this little patch, right? And so, and my honey bunny, same thing. My significant other he's a math guy, right? And he's same thing. Like, but the product is good. And I know here's the thing, I'm sharing it with everyone. Oh, and I want to remember to tell you about my mom, but it's like, I am not convincing anyone. This is good. It works. And people are just coming to me. So I am feeling like, please don't deprive yourself of something that's going to change your life. And I'm giving myself the chills. Just try it. 30 days. Just try it.
That's right.
Mom, you and I talked on a Zoom a couple weeks ago. My mom had sundowners. The first thing I noticed with my mom is that one day she walks with a walker, right? One day she just gets up. She doesn't use her walker. She just I'm like, okay, Mom.
Right.
So then she's got the sundowners. So she would be anxious and grumpy, and saw a commercial on this the other day that the sundowners really creates an attitude change in our parents, if they have it. Her and the patch, I've been patching her with the X39, and she's mellow, she's calm. I'm going in every night, every morning. I'm just like, it's just, there's nothing more important than that to see who, your parent make some gains like that. So we're still following it, watching it, seeing what's going on. She's got some memory issues we're keeping an eye on, but I'm noticing these things with her as well. People are coming to me. It's just, like Alan said, I wish I had this back when I was racing, but now, so it's here now, and I am.
Yeah. And you're reversing an age, baby. So let the good times roll, literally, right? And Michelle, would you tell me you are working the business? I see you out there promoting on social media, and I just feel like we don't want to let such an incredible tool go unnoticed. Like, we need people to say, take note of this. Like, this is something that will change your life. This is something that can change your health. This is something that can change your loved one's health, like your aging parents, right? Or your children. And so I love what you're doing on social media. I'm watching, I'm like, you are on fire. And that's exactly what needs to happen, because people do not know about phototherapy. They're unaware of it. And if they do know about it, Michelle, it's just like you said, they're doing the red light beds or the red light therapy, and it takes time and it's money and it needs a 110 or 220 volt plug-in. And with this, you can carry this beautiful little sleeve with you in your gym bag, in your biker shorts, right? Like literally you can just take it with you. I love that.
Yeah, there's just something to it. I just feel like, I guess the way I would describe it is like, I mean, when there's something good, it just has its own life force. And like you said a little bit ago, this is the cutting edge. It's just going to keep going. Stem cell research, phototherapy. It just feels so natural and right and authentic. Something about the red light out exterior kind of coming at me was not really, I don't know, it just didn't really resonate. But this patch, it's working and it's easy. And people are coming to me and I'm just giving it out. And so I'm going to run with it.
I love it. I love it. I love it, Michelle. Well, keep us posted with all of the road races go and the
Yeah.
qualifying and this, so we can definitely follow you and follow the journey, because you are an inspiration. Go ahead and flex your right bicep there. Like, I'm like, she's got cannons, right, Bo? As I'm sitting there looking at her, I'm like, she's got the gun. Oh, money,
Don't do
money, money. Let's go. I love it. I love it. We appreciate you, Michelle, sharing today. And we will continue to pray for your mama. I know that that's so important. We want our aging loved ones well, don't we? That's so important for all of us. So thank you. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, Mary Morgan. And thank you, Michelle. And thank you, Bo. But we are actually going to really quickly flip through a small presentation, because there's people asking all kinds of questions. Bo and I are like reading the questions over here. So I think we have Scott. He's manning the flip chart back in North Dakota for us. So Scott, we're going to quickly flip through this incredible presentation. So again, you had the honor and pleasure to hear from these very best. Hey, listen, our whole family's on that. That's our son, Truett. He's building a business, by the way. Truett right here. He's 18. This kid is so strong. Bo and him last night went to the gym. There were a couple guys here at Bo's event in Scottsdale.
True didn't even warm up. He benched 225 for 8 reps without a warm up.
He goes, Mom.
He's 18 years old.
Truett is a beast. He said he just threw down 225 for 8 reps without a warm up in the gym. And I'm like, the kid's massive, but he's wearing the patch. He's excited about it. He's sharing with all the athletes at the gym. And I think Truett has officially won the trip to Punta Mita. So if you guys are thinking about going on a free trip, Truett just won the free trip. He's sponsoring all the guys. He's probably got a ton of those guys on this meeting tonight. So we love all the young people getting on board, taking control of their health. So biggest question is, have you been patched yet? If you're on here tonight, talk to the person that invited you on here. That person will be your sponsor. They'll make sure that you get started at the right patches for you and for your budget. Again, all LifeWave products are free from drugs, chemicals, and stimulants. We cannot say that we treat, cure, or prevent any disease. I will tell you, I have an inbox of thousands of miracles. So I love that the medical community doesn't quite acknowledge miracles, but my God does. So we're over here just seeing the miracles every day of people's health. It all started with that beautiful mom of mine. You guys may have heard the story, but literally walking, talking, peeling potatoes again, back to life. She has a little dog. Like, this woman has literally got her life back. Her bone density in her mouth all came back. Literally, before the patch, her teeth were falling out of her mouth. It was crazy. They were so loose. And 2 months in, the dentist calls me and said, "What did you do to your mother's teeth?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I'm looking at a different mouth here, Renita. I'm looking at a different mouth. There's no more recession. The teeth are set in the mouth." He's like, "I just can't even believe my eyes." So that was the start of all of the miracles in the last 2.5 years, was my mom. Of course, you guys know my dad. He was a one patch wonder. Now, we don't have many one patch wonders, but when we have them, wow, they're profound. But dad, literally, that morning when mom was walking without her walker, like your mom, Michelle, when our parents are walking without the walkers, we're taking note. And when we saw that, and my dad was sitting at the kitchen table with those oozing, goozing, dripping legs, the Marine. How many of you are a Marine in here? We appreciate you serving, Semper Fi. But my dad, he had doctored and doctored to no avail. And that morning I said, "Let's try a patch on you, Dad." And he actually said to me, "I thought it's for Parkinson's." I said, "I have no idea what it's for." I'll be honest with you. I'm so shocked right now watching mom walk without the walker. My dad's legs on the right, you guys, was 24 hours later. We got back the next morning, and my dad opened the front door and he said, "Looks like that sticker worked. Where can I get some more of those little stickers?" Right, guys? Those little stickers, the power of the patch. So if you don't have some stickers on hand, you got to get yourself some stickers. And the Lord really told me on July 3rd, 2022, that we were stepping into an abundant season of miracles. And that's exactly what's happened. So Scott, you can hit it again. Scott's over there. We've got a miracle inbox. This is 5 days later. Someone had extreme dermatitis, eczema, psoriasis. You just name it. I don't even know what it was. It was bad. She'd had it for 8 years, ever since she had chemo. Her hands looked like that. She, of course, reached out to me because I put that ugly picture of my dad's legs on social media. Social media. Ellen, you got to put that wart on social media, baby. Anyway, when you put those ugly pictures on social media, people take note. And my friend Penny said, "Will it help my hands?" I said, "I'm not exactly sure, but there's a 30-day money back guarantee. So give it a whirl." And the picture on the right was 5 days later, you guys. So we see miracle breakthroughs. We've got lots of legends wearing the patch. Hey, RFK Jr.'s team is apparently wearing the patch. So don't be surprised if you see bigger, better things with all of this happening. But we do want to take a moment to talk a little bit about, Scott, do you have that side by side of the X39 49? Do you have that side by side of the X? Oh, okay. Maybe he doesn't have that. All right, we're bebopping around, but this is David Schmidt, the founder, inventor of the product. He created it for the Navy SEALs. So I don't know if you have any Navy SEALs on here, but he actually invented the very first phototherapy technology 21 years ago for the Navy SEALs to wear during Hell Week. And guess what happened? It worked. They did amazing. And from there, it was used by the United States Olympic female athletes down at Stanford University. So for those swimmers in the house, I tell you what, all the swimmers broke their PRs in practice within the first 3 weeks of wearing the energy enhancer patches, and 4 qualified for the U.S. Olympic swim team. I don't know about you guys, but most people are not breaking their personal records in practice. I mean, maybe you, Ellen, okay, but most people aren't. And so we know that this technology is incredible. But in 2008, David said, let's focus on stem cells. Let's focus on how we can activate stem cells with light, right? Instead of a needle injection, which many of you guys know, that exists. They're very expensive. A lot of people get these injections and then they have to get more of them. And then sometimes they work for a little while and then they stop. And, you know, there's always a risk for an infection with any type of injection. And so I love that with this, there's no controversial, ethical, or moral issues, because it's only activating our own stem cells with light. Think about that, how incredible. So whatever needs healing on your body is what's going to get the healing, which I totally love that. And so as we flip on over here, yes. So Beau, you want to talk about the X39 49 real quick for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, because you wore both of them.
Yeah, a couple people were
study.
asking about like what we wear when we're working out. So I love wearing the X39 and X49 combo that paired up. It looks like, you know, during your workouts, you're burning 90% more calories, which is phenomenal. Your top speed is increasing 27% and your distance is increased by 65%. And then, like I was talking about earlier, with your heart rate and your pulse decreasing by that 5.38%. So these were all case studies that were done with the X39 and X49 in a bike improvement over 2 months.
And they actually tested people up to 81 years old were in the study. You guys, can you imagine an 81-year-old? Their top speed gets 28% faster.
Wow.
I mean, you talk about reversing an age. This is it, right, guys? You know, when you're biking on the road and all of a sudden an 81-year-old passes you with the patch on, you better get patched up.
It looks like sit-ups improved 70%, push-ups 81%, squats 47. Like, these are insane percentages.
Bicep. Like, think about
Biceps.
grip strength. As people get old, they can't open jars, man. And you see this power that's happening with the improvement of the 49, which increases the blood flow, the bone density. But the combo of those two patches together is a lot what Beau wore. And will you tell me where you wore them?
Yeah, I wear the energy enhancers on my hip flexors, on my traps, on my forearms, just keeping that output as well. So.
Yeah. So you guys, there's lots of started. I mean, you want to get started ASAP. And Scott, we can hit that slide one more time there. And I know that let's see if Scott's there. Oh yeah, we just have a preview of a bunch of different athletes. A lot of athletes have been using the patch for years. You got to remember, LifeWave is 21 years old this year, right? So this is cutting edge technology that your friends don't know about, with a rock solid company that's debt free. And it's available in 80 different countries. And so lots of amazing athletes are on it, tested by the WADA, the World Anti-Doping Association, non-transdermal, so nothing is entering the body except for light, right? So when Beau kept getting drug tested, when the Stanford swim coach, Richard Quick, called David, he said, will my female athletes test positive? David said, absolutely not. The only thing entering the body is light. So remember, with whatever patch you decide to wear, a different spectrum or frequency of light is coming in, and that's affecting your healing mechanism. So it's either increasing like peptides, or it's increasing antioxidants. So peptides are just chains of proteins or chains of amino acids linked together, which as athletes, you know, we need to up the amino acids. And of course, antioxidants reduce inflammation. Scott, we're going to let you take it over and talk a little bit about the tax benefits of this business for the next 10 minutes, because this is really, really powerful. We've got the patents to back it up, 185 patents, 95 clinical studies. But I'm going to let Scott share briefly for 10 minutes about why this is such a tax efficient business. And hopefully, with Trump at the head of the helm, maybe he'll get rid of taxes. I don't know. But until then, we better become much more financially savvy. Would you guys agree? Financial literacy is a good thing. Raise your hand if you think it's a good thing to be a financial powerhouse. Come on, guys. All right, go ahead, Scott. Where is Scott?
All right, can you hear me okay?
We got you. Yep.
Okay, I'm kind of leaning in. Renita, I'm not sure if it's your internet connection or mine. North Dakota, it's super cold and windy, so I've got my camera off. I'm kind of just leaning in a little bit here, but yeah, really over just the next 5 minutes, right? So we want to talk a little bit about making smart money moves in 2025 and what are your options, right? So when Beau was a senior in college, he wanted to make more money, right? We meet people all the time and they say, you know, I got the degree, I'm into my career, I'm not reaching my financial goals. You know, I don't have enough vacation time. I'm not investing for retirement. I still have debt in vehicles and homes and credit cards, right? And so what are your options? So you think about wanting to have it be a proven system because you want to make sure that you're not risking a lot of your money and your time, right? Your valuable resources. And so a lot of times people will look to franchises. Unfortunately, it's not always the best option for most people because of the startup expense. So did a little bit of quick due diligence online, and it says in 2025, the average startup expense for a franchise in the United States is between $10,000 and millions of dollars, right? And so I don't know of any franchises you can open for $10,000, but I know that if I was going to open a franchise, I'd want to open one of the best franchises. And so I think about proven systems. What do people like, right? So for example, you got a Christian organization franchise, the Chick-fil-A, right? What is a Chick-fil-A startup expense? $2.4 million startup, employees, training, overhead, right? And all those things. And so you also have to have about $1 million liquid, you know, to get approved for some of these franchises. So it's an option, but it's not always available to somebody who's looking for that side hustle or that extra stream of income, and you don't have that expenses. So what do people fall back on if franchises, due to the startup expense and the monthly overhead and liquidity, just isn't an option? So you look to small businesses, right? So you might have a job, you're making some income, but you're also going to paint houses. You're also going to do some landscaping. You're also going to be a trainer or coach or teach yoga, or, you know, whatever your side hustles might be, right? I share a story about how our 16-year-old son, Rocco, started a detailing business. He details cars and boats and food trucks and things like that, right? So in the United States, 33 million small businesses in the US, right? And so it's really interesting that, you know, people want to own businesses
Between the bed.
in the US, right?
Hang on a second. Hey, Scott, would everybody just mute yourselves, please, if you're on here? Thank you. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, so 33 million small businesses in the United States. And so I absolutely love that. So what do people like about small businesses that they don't love about franchises? And a lot of times it's a startup expense. So again, when you start to do some research in the United States in 2025, anywhere between $30,000 and $50,000 is a typical startup expense for a small business, right? And that's your first year, but then you've got some monthly overhead. So what do statistics say about small businesses? They say, well, it can take 2.5 years to break even. This slide says you can break even somewhere between your first and second year, but there's some risk involved. 50% of small businesses fail within their first 5 years. So everybody wants to own a business until you own a business sometimes. Renita's way of putting it, I think Mike Tyson said, Renita was on the last call before this, she said, everyone wants to box until they get punched in the face. You know?
Yeah, then they don't have a plan. What's next, right?
Hit between the nose, and all of a sudden, you know, your eyes are watering. You're like, oh, I'm not sure I want to do this, right? So there's some risk involved in small businesses, but, you know, a lot of times you kind of go through that progression where you've got a job, you're earning income. Maybe you work harder, you show up earlier, you stay later, you know more than the person who's shoulder to shoulder with you working your job, right? And so it's kind of the John Wayne progression. You want to, you know, I'm going to take care of my family. I'm going to take care of my finances, right? I'm going to do it myself. And so you open a small business. And so you look at these small businesses, over 30 million. In the United States, half of those small businesses are home-based businesses. So over 15 million home-based businesses in the United States, right? And so what do people like about home-based businesses that they didn't like about franchises and small businesses? They like the startup expense. So here's a list right now of the startup expense to launch your home-based business with LifeWave. So anywhere between $295 and $1,750. So I use that example of our son Rocco, 16, and he launched his business to detail cars. His startup expense was about $3,000, right? And then he got all of his cleaning supplies, and his mom, Renita, said, Rocco, these cleaning supplies are toxic. You can't use these. And so he didn't even
Rocco, these are poisons.
Yeah. And so he didn't even sell those to somebody else, because why would he sell toxic cleaning supplies to his friends or somebody else? And so he just ditched those and he had to buy different cleaning supplies. So you win or learn in life and in business, right? But that's his startup expense and his overhead expense. And so, it took him all summer just about to break even.
And the poor kid was cleaning food trucks with grease this thick, scraping it off the floor for 8 hours.
Right. So this is the life of a small business owner, right? So I love that with LifeWave.
I laid by the pool yesterday on Beau's rooftop and patched all the people that had their bikinis on. That was my work day. Choices.
You make choices in business, right? And so we talk a little bit about with our team about making smart money moves and just how smart it is to open a home-based business. So really quickly, I'm a financial planner. I'm not a tax advisor. Even if I was a tax advisor, I don't have grounds to give you tax advice on this call. I don't know if you're married, you're filing taxes jointly. I don't know your income. I don't know if you have multiple businesses. If I did have grounds to give you advice, what I would say is two things with LifeWave. Is it your intent to have profit? And number two, are you participating in consistent business building activities? Now, if you can satisfy yes to both of those questions, then I would ask you, show me your miles. When you leave your home and it's your intent to have profit, and wouldn't it be great when you get to church, when you get to Costco, when you get to the gym, when you get to the beach, Mary Morgan, right? Depending on where you live.
She lives on the beach.
Wouldn't it be great if you met someone and you would say things like, what do you know about stem cells? Or you just say things like, hey, how's it going? They're probably going to bring up health, money, travel, family, taxes are coming up, right? So they're going to bring up things. You always have an opportunity to share. And I would say, listen, if it's your intent to have profit, you can write off your miles. And so maybe you drove your vehicle 15,000 miles for the year. And I would have a hard time not explaining to an IRS audit that all of my miles could potentially be a business tax deduction, because when I leave my home, when Renita Brannan leaves her home, when Beau leaves his home, it's his intent to have profit. He wants to network and share and meet and bless and change lives when he leaves his condo, right, in Scottsdale. And so I would say, can he come up with 10,000 miles, right? 67 cents per mile for 2024. That's a $6,700 tax deduction. Now, maybe you drove more miles and you could show that more miles than 10,000 would be attributed to business. The premium kit is $1,750. So maybe you started with the core kit to launch your LifeWave business and it's $300, or the advanced pack is $535. As you start earning income, you can upgrade. It's not a requirement, but you can upgrade to the premium kit. So for this example, if I had grounds to give you tax advice, I would say, how did you launch your business? What did you invest in your business for your startup? And you could say the premium kit. I've got 20 sleeves of X39 for $1,750. That was my business expense. Now, your non-negotiable business expense to operate LifeWave. Now, if you're joining just to receive LifeWave patches at wholesale, there's no requirements for monthly order. You can order as little or as much as you want. You can be on a monthly subscription. It's totally your choice. Nothing weird with this company, LifeWave. You're in the driver's seat. But if you're in the business for profit, LifeWave says you need to have some patches to wear. You need to have some patches to share or sell. And so 2 sleeves is the non-negotiable business expense. Now, again, I'll bring it back to, I think it was our son, Truett. He's 18. He started talking to people his age and they said, well, True, I want to own a business. I mean, that's what I want to do with my life. But I'm not so sure I want to own a LifeWave business if they're going to say that I need to spend $200 a month in patches. And Truett said, so let me get this straight. You want to own a business, but you want to find one that is less overhead per month than $200. Truett's like, I don't know, bro. Good luck. Right? I mean, this is $200 a month overhead. Right? This is why people are selecting home-based businesses. Right? Now yourself.
I think you need to say that again. There is like no business in the world that's less than $200 a month overhead.
I mean, if you can find one, tell me. And if there's an upside of unlimited income and I can help people like I can with these patches, let me know. Right? I mean, this is what Truett's telling his friends. Right? So your cell phone, right? You've got the LifeWave InTouch app. You can send out thisisit.info.com, the phototherapy videos. You can text, you can join Zooms. I mean, this is a crucial ethical business expense. So maybe your cell phone is $150 a month. Maybe your tax advisor says you can write off $100. If I were audited, I would have a hard time not arguing with an IRS agent that my entire cell phone is a business expense because 100% of the contacts in my phone are either a part of my business or are about to be a part of my business, right?
That's right.
So meals, you don't get to write off all of your meals, but if you're talking about LifeWave, if you're setting goals, if you're talking about the trips, if you're talking about things, you can write off a portion of your meals. Now, maybe you're spending more than $5,000 a year on meals, but if I was your tax advisor and I had grounds to give you tax advice, I would say, can you come up with $5,000 worth of meals where you're planning, you're strategizing, you're showing the opportunity, you're explaining the health benefits, you're doing that over a meal. Can we come up with some tax deductions? How about some of your clothing? Are you going to some of the conferences, the conventions? Are you on Zoom meetings where you want to look your best, right? Can we come up some clothes? Now, these are only 6 categories of business tax deductions. There's an internal revenue code filled with tax deductions and tax credits that if we become financially literate together, if we can help each other together and link arms together and make smart financial decisions, we can set our families financially free, right? So here we have $22,050 worth of tax deductions. Now, what does that mean to you? I don't know. I don't know what it means to you because I don't know how much income you make. So what you could do is you could sit down and you could look at your husband or your wife, or if you're single, you could say, how much did I earn in 2024? And then you could Google what tax bracket you're in, right? So you could Google how much you made and just Google 2024 federal income tax bracket. Now, if you're in a 22% tax bracket, you multiply that by your business deduction and you save $4,851 on taxes. So if you are an employee somewhere, like Coach Webb, if you're a W-2 employee at the university, you're withholding taxes every single paycheck. And at the end of the year, you can look and see how much you withheld federally and how much you've held, in state. In North Dakota, we pay state income taxes. Florida, you don't pay state income taxes, do you? Oh, you guys are smart out there in Florida. My goodness, we're going to have to buy a house out there and become primary residents of Florida. Anyway,
LifeWave house, tax
if
deduction.
If you paid tax deductions over the year, or if you paid federal taxes over the year in a 22% tax bracket, when you file your taxes, you're going to get back $4,851. If you're in a 24% tax bracket, you're going to get more back. As you can see, the more you earn, the smarter it is to open a home-based business. The less you earn, the smarter it is to open a home-based business to generate some income for you and your family. But take a look at your new expenses because you are going to drive anyways. You're going to spend money on food and clothes and your cell phone anyways. I call those lifestyle expenses. Your new expenses were your premium kit and your monthly overhead. So you've spent, what is that? Oh, you're good with numbers. $4,150, under $4,200 you've spent in new expenses. You've gotten back somewhere between $4,800 and $8,000 for the year. You found a way to make a smart money move, launch a business from your home, and get these patches for free. And we haven't even talked about earning money yet. So you've broken even before you even started. Is that a smart money move? We're not talking about a franchise or a small business that takes years. And by the way, also, with a lot of those other opportunities in this economy, fighting for the American dream means you're giving up time with your wife. You're giving up time with your husband. You're giving up time, Mary, with your beautiful daughter that joined you on your lap there, right? Your training partner, your running training partner, right? Alan, you're giving up time just, loving running and going for runs, right? and being with your kids and being with your wife. Michelle, you're giving up time.
Hey, Scott, I'm not
Yeah.
giving up any time.
No,
Look where I'm
right
at.
there. You know, you
Look
get to
where
spend
I'm
time.
at.
So what LifeWave does is they say, we want you to be successful. By the way, David Schmidt says, you know, when we asked him, David, you're going to reach $1 billion in 2025. What's your succession plan? What are you going to do? Are you going to sell? Are you going to sell to an investment group? Are you going to go public? He said, Renita, he said, Beau, this isn't what I do. This is who I am. He said, I need your help. This is the only way that we grow LifeWave is through referrals. So companies like Nike is a great company, and they endorse super athletes like Alan Webb. And you know, you got to be a super athlete, but then we'll pay you to run as fast as you can in circles. Right? I love how Alan said that. You know, LifeWave is with them. It's not an afterthought. The affiliate marketing, the sponsorship, the promotion, that they say this is the only way we grow. And
Right.
so they're looking for people to pay. And so if we do $1 billion this year with LifeWave, and we can produce $2 billion worth of patches. So this company they're visionaries. I mean, they are stable, rock solid. Dig your feet in and grow a business here, you guys. But they said, we're going to pay 60% of our revenue back to people on this call, back to people like you, people that you're going to share this opportunity with. So when LifeWave does $1 billion, they're going to pay out $600 million. And so we had a great gal on, Ashley Townsend. Ashley and Tommy are social media. I mean, they're just an amazing, beautiful family. And they had the health testimonies of their 2 children and their vision being restored. I mean, it's just an amazing testimony. You got to search for them. But Ashley said, you know, the difference between LifeWave as a $1 billion company and other $1 billion companies is they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on marketing and advertising, where LifeWave is putting all of that money into referral commissions. And so that's it. You found a place to make a smart money move. And not only did you do that, because you could pick any home-based business, but you picked the business where you have David Schmidt. It's so rare. I can't even think of another example where you have the founder, the inventor of a company that's over 20 years old, still the current acting CEO with over 100 patents and clinical studies. You found the company LifeWave, who's the fastest growing company. You know, we talked about 15 million home-based businesses. This is the fastest growing company in the world. Right. And so we have David Schmidt. We've got This Is It team, which is the fastest growing team in all of LifeWave. So Renita, I'm going to hand it back over to you, but that's just a little bit about the principles of making smart financial decisions, smart money moves. You could pick any home-based business and it's a smart money move. But if you've aligned yourself with whoever invited you, to this call tonight, and you're a part of LifeWave and you're a part of This Is It team, you're a part of a winning team. And so the fact that we have these athletes, these champions, these world changers on tonight, what a blessing. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit about, your journey and your struggles and some of the things you went through. And even more than that, now just sharing a little bit about your family, and Alan, I think someone was putting in the chat a little bit about your wife and some of her testimonies and certainly your 6-year-old daughter. And it's just, raising champions, right? Raising champions. And so we're just really thankful and blessed that you're all a part of this tonight. So Renita, I'll hand it back to you.
Awesome, you guys. Yeah, thanks a lot, Scott. I think that money matters. How many of you raise your hand if you like the idea? Just say yes, nod. Do you like making smart money moves? Do you like making smart money moves? How many of you like the idea of getting healthier? Raise your hand if you like the idea of getting healthier as we age. How many of you like the idea of healthy children? Like Alan's talking about his kids. Come on, moms in the house. How about healthy aging parents and grandparents? Raise your hand on that one. Come on, if you guys, we got to get these hands in the air. I always think the eyes of the Lord range to and fro the earth, looking for those who love him so he can serve them and help them. I'm like, right here, Lord. So we know we want to be healthy. We know we want to make good financial decisions with our families, you guys. This is truly the opportunity of a lifetime for all of us tonight. So if you're on here tonight, make sure you get started with the person who invited you on here. Get a hold of them. Say, you know what? Get me going on these patches. It's time for phototherapy to be in my home, in my family's health arsenal. And like Scott said, why not make smart money moves? Until they take away income taxes, I think we got to be really smart. How many of you guys would agree? Until Trump takes away the income taxes, we've got to make smart money moves. And a home-based business is just the best possible money move you can make this year. So we hope you get started. I just want to pray the Lord's blessing over all of you on your health, your finances, and your family. Again, thank you to all the champions, Alan and Mary and Michelle and Beau. We appreciate you. We truly believe the very best is yet to come, you guys. Thanks for hopping on tonight. We love you. Thank you, Beau.